On this Unlocked, we're going to be discussing the age-old debate, what's the best late-season food source? Is it corn, is it soybeans, or is it something else that I didn't mention? What do you think, Casey?
I mean, they're both great, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But if you tell me, gun to my head, which one do I pick, I'm picking standing corn.
Yeah.
And it's the reason behind it is it's just so much easier to hunt it and harvest deer over it in the late season. It's just, it provides a barrier. It's a visual barrier. It makes a lot of noise if there's any wind. Yep. It allows for access. The deer are coming to it heavily in the late season during super cold fronts.
And there's a lot of hunts on the Hunt Collective series where we're hunting deer in the late season, and a lot of times you're seeing us on standing corn, but there are hunts where it's standing soybeans.
No doubt.
And so if you're a person just watching it, you're like, oh, these guys clearly like standing corn, and the next episode may be standing soybeans.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I guess it's maybe not just standing corn. So,
Yeah.
See, this is the age debate that we have all the time, right? Because he's a corn guy. I'm a bean guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
100%.
why beans?
Well, it's all of his points he made, I completely agree.
Yep.
But one thing that corn does not provide is when beans are growing, the early season, they're in them.
No.
Corn does not do that.
Certainly. Yep.
And I love the fact that when you're scouting, you can see over it. Early season. Can't do that with corn.
Yep.
And then obviously when it comes late season, if you don't figure out how you're going to either mow down the corn or have a plan of how you're going to do this, you can see over it.
Yeah.
And you can see more of the deer traffic in a bean field than a cornfield.
Would you say, because I kind of tend to lean towards you, Casey, on the corn side of things, that where legal, where it can be manipulated and left in a field, you can make a larger field hunt smaller in the way that it is then manipulated.
But
right?
you can
With
do the
corn,
same thing with beans, though. You can mow those down or harvest them. It's the same thing.
They tend to
You
spoil
could.
quicker on the ground than
Absolutely.
corn, but
and turkeys,
Fair.
I feel like, get them
Fair.
a lot more. And then the thing with the aspect of corn, and this is not with the case with all varieties, but you said you can't hunt it early season. If you manipulate corn early, knock it down,
yeah.
they will 100% be on it if it has the right dryness to it, if it's matured along the drying process. Early season, and if you don't have that competition of acorns, if it's down, they will 100% crush
Seth
it.
Harker, who hunts with us, he does that early season. If he's got standing corn and there's not a whole lot of acorns, he'll go in there and start mowing corn down, and it's like deer are coming, and he's shot mature deer doing it. I don't think I know for a fact it's not nearly as common as late season.
I was going to say
Correct.
it's not
Yeah.
very
But
common.
it is a
areas
tactic
where,
to pull.
You know, I think it all is going to depend on the farm, because I see Greg's point. If you don't have a lot of food plot acres and you're trying to maximize it, soybeans are probably a better option because you can provide summer forage,
Yes.
fall forage,
Yes.
then standing beans, so winter forage. The only caveat to that is if you're in an
High
area
deer
of
densities.
high deer densities, they may not make it to pod production.
Fair.
High turkey densities, they may not hold the pods long because the turkeys ate them.
It's a fair point. Yep.
And so then the thing I see with soybeans is you're committed to soybeans, and you have the benefit is you have a time frame where if they do eat them a lot in July, you still have time to establish a fall blend.
Agreed. Yep.
With corn, the side of it is if you plant the corn, you're really committed to it for late season.
Sure.
And so you have months and months and months where you're just like banking, going, I hope it makes, I hope it makes, I hope there's enough, I hope it stays,
lasts.
I hope it lasts. But if it does, it's magical. But you still have the benefit to add covers, green covers, like brassicas in July or cereal grains in the especially if it's a 30 to a 36 row spacing.
Yeah, I mean, I think we should talk about our tactics for keeping and establishing late season food as well.
Yeah.
We start off with large destination agricultural fields. We're not planting, we may end up with a 3 to 5 acre standing bean or cornfield, but that's not how we're starting. Our process is, and Greg can talk a lot about it as well, is large agricultural fields and buying back crops from the farmer.
Yeah, and I think that's an important point that I hooked my wagon to a long time ago is we have so many plots to plant. I really don't want our time and energy going into our greenfield plots. One, we're not the expert.
Yeah.
2, the equipment's big. And 3, if you make a mistake, it can be very, very expensive because the seed's expensive, the chemical's expensive. And so I learned early on that in all of our farm agreements, we put that I have the right to buy back up to 10% of that tillable field.
Yeah.
At their input costs.
Yeah.
So they're going to do it a lot cheaper than I can, and they're going to do it way quicker, and they're going to do it way better than I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why even try to take on that animal? Just buy back, and we go in there with Onyx, and we do our aerial shape, and we send it to the farmer and say, this is what we want. This is the shape we want it in. When you go to harvest, leave this standing. And it works. Yeah, sometimes it takes some babysitting to make sure we get what we asked to get back. But it allows us to move over to other parts of the farm and utilize our time and energy way more effective, knowing the true professionals are growing the crop that we want to buy back.
Yeah.
When you're managing clover and fall blends.
All that other stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. It's way more effective.
For corn, I tend to lean towards liking standing corn better from a standpoint is as long as it's in an area that has I can have adequate spacing, 30 to 36 inch rows, and I can establish brassicas in July underneath that. Then I have greens and grain. I can't do that with soybeans.
That's fair.
And that's why I tend to like it. And we're talking about the ideal scenario. There's many scenarios where it's I'm hoping for standing soybeans. But in a perfect world, that's what I shoot for. Standing corn with greens underneath. And, I mean, that is magical.
But let's keep in mind, we can't do corn.
Correct.
And keep going. We have to have a rotation system. Otherwise, you're going to rob the soil, and you're going to lose in the long run. So we got to make sure that we're communicating that as well, as we don't want people putting in back-to-back corn year after year.
The other thing to note is some areas, like, if I tried to have standing soybeans, it may not make it because of deer pressure through the growing season. But in other areas, they may plant a lot, and it's just like, boy, we can't even grow corn. But the thing that they can grow is milo. Mm-hmm. And so if we're looking for, I see this a lot in northern states where it's like you need to plant milo. The deer density is too high to plant soybeans. The raccoons, you talk about, you try to grow corn, and the raccoons take it all, or the bears take it all. You're going to lean on milo. And you just, it's a good, attractive late season food source. It's not as good as the other two, but it's still better than nothing.
It's value. But it doesn't have much attraction in the early season, though. Am I wrong?
Sometimes it does if food is very limited. I've seen areas where
even like the milky,
when it gets kind of milky and they'll
start
real sticky, they'll still start eating it.
Okay.
The biggest issue I see, especially for like guys down south, where you plant milo and you think, okay, I'm in. Blackbirds move in. Red-winged blackbirds or starlings move in. And you're like, great. I planted that in May, and all I did was feed birds.
Yeah, big
I don't have a blackbird tag. Not interested.
You'd need a lot. But if you get into a drought situation too, there's shorter maturing varieties of milo. So if it's dry and it's summer and your first crop failed, you can go to that as well and get established, and it not mature till early October, mid-October. You're still good. You've got a great late season food.
The thing about northern climate too is it's tall enough and it has a thick enough stalk it can withstand a lot of snow. So it's going to be food available above snow when clover, even brassicas are way down under snowpack. So that's another reason why we like it. But all those scenarios.
Is there anything else? So you talked about beans, talked about corn, talked about milo.
Brassicas are pretty good, If you don't have a lot of snow, you've got the bulbs. Once they eat the greens, they're coming back for the bulbs. That's a great option for guys in the South, the Midwest, Southern Midwest.
Define South. Where's the line on that? I say
Southern Midwest. When I say Southern Midwest, I mean like Southern Missouri, Tennessee. Okay. And people would argue that Tennessee's in the South, but kind of that latitude line from Central Missouri
south,
and then once you get into Central Arkansas, I'd say now you're getting into the South. So that kind of line where Nebraska's really good in that period. But then you go down into Arkansas, South Arkansas. Clover's a great winter option.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So
or just wheat.
Yeah.
Like
Oklahoma, notorious, and parts of Kansas, the winter food source is wheat because they don't have a lot of snow, and you get 2 days of warm temps and greens back up. But today's video is about corn, soybeans.
Yeah, late season grain fields.
Season grain fields, and
so we're
options
3 to 1. We're saying corn, soybean. Is that right?
For hunting, yeah, I'm all
hunting.
corn. If you had to ask me nutrition wise, I'd go the soybean route.
If I only had one food plot, I would be soybeans.
See, here's the problem, guys. Here's the problem. You guys are all about just this one little time of period. My mindset's always about 365. And where did I get that from?
Yeah.
Where did I get that from?
So you can't say that about us.
You guys. I got that from you guys. So I'm going to die in this one because it's 3-1. So let's go. So here's the situation. When you look at the beans and the value of the beans, kind of like what we had a previous Unlock series about clover that we talked about.
And we said it's king.
It's king.
Yes.
I think personally, when you look at the whole thing across all lines, and we talked about clover is sometimes 1, sometimes 2, but it's always at the top.
Yep.
I think beans falls in the same category. When you look at all those things that we just talked about, and you sort everything from early season to mid-season to late season to all those things that you talk about, I'm going to fall in the grave of beans.
But we're talking late season attraction. We have nothing to
narrowed
do with
the
other
window.
The biggest problem is browse pressure.
Yes.
Like when it's corn,
I don't disagree.
It's got to handle browse pressure. It handles it better. It's readily available late.
It all
Beans
depends on
is
deer
way
density and
susceptible.
size.
Yeah.
All depends on deer density and the size of the
Because if
plot.
deer eat all your beans in July,
I don't disagree.
I'm saying, okay.
But I have a chance to replot. I can redo the plot. Corn, I cannot.
I can. Well, you can save it with brassicas and cereal grains. My thing is, I'm trying to paint a picture and say I've got established clover, I've got fall annuals, I've got all these others, and now I have this 1 3-acre field that I want to be dynamite late season. And I'm saying, do I want to have standing soybeans or do I want to have standing corn with brassica?
Well,
that's where I'd say.
Well, now you're changing the game because if you're going to define the size of the
Roll it
acreage,
back. We said late season attraction.
No. Now you're defining the size. So if you're going to define the size of the acres,
then I'll still go with corn.
you have to go with corn because it's too small because of deer density.
What size is sufficient then to consider?
I think it all depends on your deer density. Where are we?
Well, now
we're typically buying back 3 to 5 though. I mean, us late season viable late season 3 to 4.
3 to 4 acres is pretty normal.
Yeah.
3 to 4
in
acres
each location,
is normal.
remember?
Yeah. Try to sustain
3 to 4 acres.
3 to 4 acres is pretty. But we have a huge ag field that they're
fed through the summer.
They got massive pressure throughout. 80 or 90 or 100 acres, right? So when we buy it back, it's not a big deal. But if I'm going to go plant just a 3 or 4 acre, that's a different conversation.
Yeah.
Because of the deer density and the deer pressure.
You guys have had success in Wisconsin over the last several years of late season grain, right?
Yeah.
Oh, corn. Never mind. Just corn.
No, corn and beans.
And beans.
Whatever it rotates to.
Nice try, Slick.
Well, the last 3 years it's been corn.
But man, it's a lot easier when it's corn. I mean, it is because
I'm not arguing that.
You can get in and out. It's just.
But I am concerned about everybody watching this and our viewers of what is the most value for the year-round season, and I still say it's beans.
We started this off saying late season attraction.
I know that, but I'm taking consideration
saying that if we're talking about the most attractive, the most benefit for the months of the year, then soybeans wins because it's providing the forage.
So now we're 2 to 4.
No.
2 versus 2. No. There we go. See? You're coming to my side.
Maybe next season we'll cover which is the best grain
but
all year
round. Here's the thing. I can say I love standing corn the best, but the next year I'm supposed to be in soybeans. And I'll be like, hey, I'm rooting for soybeans just as hard.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be doing corn.
No.
Nobody.
No.
That's foolish. But at the same time, I feel there's a more, what's the word? I feel more excited on the years it's corn.
Sure. Makes sense.
I'm always excited whether it's bean or corn, and my level doesn't change.
Yeah.
Because I know come late season they're coming because it's
There's
grain.
food.
It's grain.
It's they're coming because it's in the right location and it's late season. It's cold and they're feeding.
Yes.
I just have been.
Yes.
A couple years ago, I remember I had standing soybeans. I was like, this is going to be awesome. And the turkeys moved in. It was like, and I love turkeys. And you're just like, but the turkeys are in there every day, almost all day. Like they're going to hammer the soybeans. And by the time it got good, late December, January, there wasn't many soybeans left. And it's like, okay, these stinking rascals. Like I fed turkeys.
Yeah. Well, you have a density problem.
So I've been trying to take care of them in the spring, but yeah.
Well, if you're interested in seeing 2 really, really great bucks come into standing corn, head on over and check Greg and my Wisconsin hunt out from this last year's late season. It's a great episode, and it works. Any grain you got in the late season is better than nothing at all. But I think we know
it's effective. That's right.
I think we know what's most effective.
Let's see.
We better cut this.
Let's see in the comments. That's what I want to see. Comments win 3 versus 1. Let's bring on the beans, fellas. Bring it.